Tonight on All Systems Go, we're covering the scariest topics imaginable.
Resident Evil, Stranger Things, fast food tier lists. All Systems Go starts right now. Hello and welcome to All Systems Go, the only show known to be a pathological liar.
We've recently received 7 Emmys.
And Nick is funny. I'm Jenica, just kidding.
And I'm Nick Ne'er-do-well. Let's just jump right into it.
You know what the horror genre needs more of? Cowboys. And the upcoming horror film The Last Victim thinks so too. The Last Victim follows a group of modern-day outlaws who are being pursued by a sheriff as they deal with the aftermath of a crime gone wrong. But when a professor and her husband cross paths with the outlaws, they're brought into a world of vengeance and pain with one goal: survive. This movie is a take on the nonfiction story from Chathapuram and Doc Justin that portrays the journey into the mind of a serial killer. So you know it's gonna get gruesome. The Last Victim will premiere in theaters and on demand May 13th.
Best-selling bottomless pit One Piece is officially getting its own card game, courtesy of Bandai, something that, let's be honest, was probably inevitable given the series' worldwide success. The game will launch later this year with 4 starter decks, each based off a different One Piece faction: the Straw Hats, the Worst Generation, the 7 Warlords of the Sea, and the Animal Kingdom Pirates. Those starter decks are to be priced at around $9, and the booster packs are estimated at $2.
Great news, Kingdom Hearts fans! We have received confirmation that Kingdom Hearts 4 is in development. This trailer shows our hero Sora in a world that closely mirrors our own, called the Quadratum. And it shows him fighting massive heartless creature with some new powers. The biggest change, though, is that he's actually wearing normal shoes now? What? Meanwhile, Donald and Goofy are searching for Sora, and though it's a little unclear as to where their search takes them, fans are already coming up with theories. We don't have any release window yet, but there certainly are a lot of gamers who are excited to wield the Keyblade again.
Following the characters from Fire Emblem Three Houses comes a spin-off title, Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. Playing as the lone wolf Shez, the game allows you to choose an alliance with one of the 3 houses, each following a different story. Similar to the Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes follows a hack-and-slash format, well, following the story, not the gameplay, where you're able to take on hundreds of enemies at once, sort of like a power fantasy. Think Doom for weebs. Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes releases physically and digitally for Nintendo Switch on June 24th of 2022.
Good news for people who are still holding on to their Netflix accounts. An all-new trailer for Stranger Things Season 4 was just released, and there is a lot going on. Like, a lot. Just as the characters are once again trying to settle back into normal lives, everything turns, well, upside down. To quote the trailer, "There is a war coming, and apparently it's coming to Hawkins, Indiana." The trailer sets a way darker tone than we've seen in previous seasons, showing us the struggles and repercussions from past events that the characters will go through in this season, including a multi-limbed creature slowly lowering itself to the ground like a demented Doc Ock. If you want to find out what other mortal peril the characters will fall into this time, you can watch the first half of Stranger Things Season 4 on May 27th, followed by the second half on July 1st.
Oh, we're done talking about Stranger Things? Anyways, way back in 2020, we got the ability to bring Super Mario into the real world through a collaboration between LEGO and Nintendo. The Super Mario LEGO sets have had a goal to enhance toys with an emphasis on building your own physical world, while having toys portray realistic reactions. So if you moved a Mario over red bricks, the toy's face would react as if there were lava. And while this concept is insanely cool on its own, the creators have now decided to expand the playing field. Literally. Later this year, LEGO will release expansion sets that will allow players the chance to interact with new obstacles and characters. However, LEGO and Nintendo are also being very vague about the expansion and have only revealed the upcoming release of Princess Peach. But even if the companies are being secretive, we can expect the expansion sets coming later this year.
After the break, we'll dive into adorable cartoon characters
and horrific murderous zombies. All Systems Go. We'll be right back.
In this video, Joe entered into the world of Resident Evil. Let's take a look.
Oh my God! Resident Evil 2 Remake.
We do it. If you know the Resident Evil series and are a fan of it, then you would know that these words were uttered by Yoshiaki Hirabayashi, the director of the Resident Evil 2 Remake, to announce that the game was in full production. While these words were said in 2018, 1 year later, in January, the game would be released to be acclaimed by all audiences. Resident Evil 2 Remake received a 93 on Metacritic, a 9 from IGN. It was also nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and has actually won the Ultimate Game of the Year at the Golden Joysticks. And also currently holds a 95% overwhelming positive reviews on Steam. While it feels weird to talk about Resident Evil 2 Remake before talking about the Resident Evil Remake that came out in 2002, it feels right to talk about Resident Evil 2 Remake as it was one of my favorite games of 2019. And with news of a new remake of Resident Evil 4, which I don't know why you would want to do that. I mean, obviously Resident Evil 4 was as good as it is. Also, they should have remade Code Veronica first before Resident Evil 4. The true Resident Evil 3. Not Resident Evil 3. Code Veronica is the true Resident Evil 3. I will die on that hill. If you haven't played Resident Evil 2, well, let me tell you how it all goes down. Taking place after the events of Resident Evil in 1996, the infamous T-Virus, the same virus that turned all those people into zombies, breaks ground and transforms the denizens of Raccoon City into the undead. Unfortunately for our two protagonists, Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield, they end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. In order to shelter from the undead, they take shelter in the Raccoon City Police Department after being separated from a trucker, a trucker who's carrying gasoline and ends up, instead of actually going to the hospital, decides to go to Raccoon City. Why would you do that, first of all? Trying to uncover a route out of Raccoon City, they both must explore the station depending on who you choose to play as, battling the terrors of the station while also solving some seriously complex puzzles. Seriously, who designed this? However, the story is truly a treat, and while the remake has changed some aspects of the original, it still remains faithful to the original and even adds new stuff to trip up even the most veteran of Resident Evil players. And if you're interested in good stories, then go check out this game. Of course, a Resident Evil game isn't a Resident Evil game without its monsters. I mean, what is it then? Resident Normal? And what's a Resident Evil game without its staple monster, the zombies? Zombies in this game are of different variations, which mean they look entirely different and have, different clothing, different looks, so that way it's not the same zombie every time. Zombies in this game groan and shamble like wind-up toys. Not only that, but when you shoot their limbs enough, the disgusting squelch and tear as the limb falls is, well, disgusting. Then you have the other monsters that you can find in the game, such as the infamous lickers and their inhumanly long tongue. We can't forget the big bad main star of the show, Mr. X. Upon reaching the game's second act, the invincible pursuer will chase you down to the ends of the earth just to crush your skull. But if you lose him, you can hear his footsteps echo throughout the halls of the RPD. And his theme music? Chilling. To conclude, Resident Evil 2 Remake is one of my favorite games of 2019, and talking about it only solidifies my point. Also, the voice actors are really cool, and fun fact, I was able to talk to the actor who played Leon Kennedy in the remake.
How did you get your hair so perfect? Well, in the cosplay?
I guess cosplay.
Well, that's a wig.
And he's also a really cool and fun guy. Seriously, he was really fun to talk to. He was, honest to God, like one of the coolest people I've ever talked to. One of the coolest things I've ever done. If you want to try this game out, I highly recommend you play it. It's good price on the Steam store, and a lot of fun to play. I mean, really, there's a high amount of replayability. It looks amazing. Honestly, I recommend you play it if you can. It's also worth noting that the amount of dedication and love that the developers have put into this game, Capcom has put into this game, it shows heavily in this game. But, also, if you do like Resident Evil 2 Remake, I also recommend you try Resident Evil 7 as well as Resident Evil Village after 7 because, that's a continuation of the plot. But seriously, they're really good games. I highly recommend them. And I'm glad I was able to actually get this opportunity to talk about Resident Evil 2 Remake because it was the one game that got me into the franchise and actually made me a huge fan of the story as well as everything they were talking about. And, with Resident Evil 4 Remake on the horizon, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, I don't know. Depends on what they do with it. But, yeah. thanks for watching. And yeah.
In this next video, Seth took a deep dive into some old favorites to decide what reigns supreme. Let's see what he had to say.
Remember Tom and Jerry? The classic cartoon about a cat who constantly tried to terrorize and eat a mouse that would lead to increasingly wacky hijinks? A beloved cartoon seen by all, especially early in the morning when you would wake up before you wanted to on a school day. Well, did you know that they also made a bunch of spin-off direct-to-video movies? Yeah, like only 13 of them. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of these, otherwise we'd be here way too long. But I do want to talk about one that's always stuck with me throughout the years. And that one would be Tom and Jerry in Shiver Me Whiskers from 2006. So the basic premise is Tom and Jerry are doing their usual shenanigans, only this time they happen to be on a pirate ship. With actual pirates. Pirates who are color-coded? I can't believe the Bloods and the Crips feud goes back this far. Oh, also, the captains are brothers, by the way. You have Red Pirate Ron, Blue Pirate Bob, and Purple Pirate Paul.
I'm Barnacle Paul!
Right, sorry. There's also a running joke in the film where the pirate brothers only speak in yeah, you get the point. They actually have parrots that are translating what they say.
Oh, wow! What in the name of Davy Jones's locker room?
What's that you say? You want a bargain for your life, do you?
Except when we meet Purple Pirate Paul.
Barnacle Paul!
Sorry again. He actually speaks normally and his translator parrot only speaks yar.
Quiet, you!
Okay, I gotta admit, this is actually probably one of the funnier jokes in the film. So Tom and Jerry are on this pirate ship because, well, just because, honestly. And the main plot of the story revolves around Tom finding a treasure map that leads to the lost treasure of the Spanish Main. No, not that one. The Spanish Main, spelled M-A-N-E in this world, is a vast amount of riches from Don Diego de Clippershears, the most famous wig maker to ever live in Spain, and he had all of his treasures on a remote island for tax purposes. I'm not kidding, this is actually the plot of the movie. And it's all told to us by a spectral skull and crossbones that's apparently the lingering spirit of this wig maker. Oh, and it's also voiced by Mark Hamill.
Sunset!
This is certainly a movie. Now, this isn't like the best Tom and Jerry movie there is out there. It's also definitely not the worst. But it's certainly a very creative experience. I just want to know who sat down and really dedicated themselves to making an entire pirate-themed world with its own weird lore just to put Tom and Jerry in it. Also, weirdly enough, they got Wallace Shawn in it too, as both the narrator and Purple Pirate Paul.
Barnacle!
Shut up. But, yeah, this is just such a strange and odd movie that was weirdly very present in my childhood. I feel like I needed to talk about it just to confirm it wasn't a fever dream. It's not like a great piece of cinema or anything, but it's certainly a film that's a lot of fun, especially if you like Tom and Jerry, and also if you like pirates. So if you happen to like both, hey, this just might be your perfect movie. But yeah, as weird as this is, it'll always have a special place for me in my mind, and probably also my heart. But yeah. Disembodied Skull is easily Mark Hamill's best role. Fight me.
That's it! That is the big climax!
Up next, we have a very special conversation in honor of a very special day. All systems go. We'll be right back.
Hello, and welcome back to ASG. Today, on the 9th anniversary of Neil Banging Out Tunes, we're going to talk about Homestuck. Now, for all of you folks in the audience who don't really know what that is, it was a really popular webcomic back in the day, and it currently has more pages than the Bible, so, you know, that's pretty cool. So, to start off, I know some of you folks might not have as much knowledge as I have. I've read through it more than a few times, so I'm pretty much desperate.
What?
How much experience do you guys have with this particular webcomic? Who wants to start? Olivia?
I'd say I have intermediate level. So honestly, my journey through Homestuck was a rocky one. It lasted from 4th through 6th grade, I believe, until I rage quit because I read it on an iPad. And as our viewers will learn, there are actually Flash, like little movies, animations, and music that come with it. So when I learned that, I was pretty enraged, to say the least. So my little 6th grade brain shut off and just let my emotions do the talking. But revisiting this now as a rational adult, I feel like reading Homestuck, giving Homestuck another try would be a good decision for me. But I did get pretty far. Without the movies, granted, but I did get pretty far in it, so I know a fair amount.
All right, cool. Who wants to go next?
I read it, I think around like early high school. I think I read somewhere between like a half and like 2/3 of it. I think I don't know why. I don't think I stopped for any particular reason. I just kind of like ran out of steam. And I still have the. I doubt it works anymore because Flash isn't a thing anymore. But I still have the bookmark on, like, saved on my computer where I left off. And I feel like it's more powerful than me, so I don't want to delete it. But I also don't know if I can continue Homestuck because I don't know if I have the strength for that either. Mm-hmm. So it's just sort of sitting dormant on my computer, and it has been for like 6 years now. And that's been my last interaction with it.
That's absolutely fair. David, have you ever heard Homestuck?
I have not. Should I?
No.
That's
a really good question. No, you should not.
Yeah, but does it need a Flash requirement, Adobe Flash?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, but there's a couple of ways to get around that. Like there's a web app that you can download on your computer to read it.
I think it was just like the website that I was reading it on at the time that I had bookmarked.
Yeah.
Use Flash.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't work anymore.
News
But there are
Flash?
other ways. Yeah. It did at the time, but there's probably other ways.
Then how would I be able to read it?
You'll probably find, there's probably some, if you look it up on the internet, they probably have methods.
Oh, yeah,
Piracy is a good method for that.
It was a free
I don't
comic
know.
to begin
I'm
with.
probably going to get in trouble with the law.
Kind of?
That's fair. I get in trouble with the law all the time.
I don't think it's piracy. It was free to begin with.
I was joking.
Okay.
Yeah, no. If you're interested, we can look up after.
Yeah.
Jazz, yeah.
Personally, I've never read Homestuck. I've just kind of absorbed it through cultural osmosis, and also because I like to watch hour-long videos, and I've watched multiple hour-long videos about Homestuck, so I have the confidence of someone who has read Homestuck, but I have not.
It's so funny you say that. I feel like, personally, people who've read Homestuck shouldn't have any confidence. As one of those people myself.
They shouldn't.
Anyways, moving on. So, for everybody who has some knowledge of Homestuck, who would you say is your favorite character? Personally, I really like Terezi. She's just really cool IMO. What about you, Olivia?
I liked Carcat, and particularly with that, the, what was it called? You remember those little dingy YouTube videos that had Carcat singing songs?
Yeah, like the AMVs?
No, it was called Broadway Carcat, and I consumed those.
Yeah,
I consumed those like
Broadway
it's
Carcat?
like nobody's business. I did.
So it's like an animatic?
No, it was like someone using the voice of the character, which they gave the voice. So the voices, it's an interesting thing, because what happened originally is they didn't really have like voices, but it's like a lot of the characters, because the comic kept updating, much of what happened ended up being shaped by the community, and like ideas were passed like back and forth, and like the narrative is really interesting, but the community had like this unbridled not control, but like influence on what happened. So all that being said, it would be the videos would be of popular songs sung in what someone would believe to be the voice of Carcat, and little 12-year-old Olivia really enjoyed those because Carcat was my favorite character. Also Nepeta. There's a picture out there of me dressed as Nepeta for Halloween.
Oh.
Wow, that's commitment.
I made the costume too. It's atrocious.
Still have it?
I texted my mom a while ago. She didn't have the picture. I don't have the costume anymore.
Oh, that's rough. What about you, Nikki?
I only vaguely remember. I think my favorite at the time, I believe her name was June.
Okay.
She was just like fun, and I liked that, and that was appealing to when I was like 15, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I only vaguely remember some of the other characters. Like I think there was Dirk. I think he was like a guitar guy or something. His shirt or something had like a record on it.
No, that's Dave. Dirk had a little orange hat on his shirt.
It was Dave. And then there was John, who was the guy we started with.
Yep. It's his story, basically.
Yeah, it's his story. It's a story about a boy with a game.
Yep.
And then the world ends or something.
That's basically.
Yeah, the world ends because of Spurb.
I mean, if you could
Spurb,
summarize
that's
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Spurb. How could I forget Spurb?
I haven't even read Homestuck, and I remember Spurb.
Everybody
Come
knows Spurb.
on.
It's been 6 years. My life has never been the same. I'm a hollow shell. I'm a hollow shell of my former self.
Now I've got one last question for everybody in the room. You can feel free to answer it however you'd like to. Did Vriska do anything wrong?
No.
No.
Vriska did nothing wrong ever. She's never done a wrong thing in her life. Vriska has done nothing wrong, and I will fight for this.
What about you guys?
Define wrong. In its most simple
in an
terms.
objective sense.
I don't think we have enough time to go over the morality of what is considered right or wrong. In your personal opinion.
It depends.
Okay, Nikki?
I don't think I got far enough to meet Vriska. All I know is that she's apparently Sans.
Okay, fair enough. Now, unfortunately, folks, that is all of our time today. Wait. Yeah, that's all of our time today. So coming up, we actually have our good friend Sophia. You might remember her from the show. She's here to talk to us about every gamer's favorite thing, fast food. All System Go will be right back.
What's this? Sophia with another seemingly unrelated video? Well, color me intrigued. Let's check it out. Roll the clip. Roll it.
My name is Sophia, and I screwed myself over this week. So today, I'm doing something that is easy and fun for me to do, because I can share my opinions. Today, I am going to be ranking fast food chains. As you can see on this beautiful little tier list, I'm going to be going through all of them and then ranking them from question mark, which means I haven't tried it, or I don't know what it's like, or personal favorite. Personal favorite is going to be the #1 restaurant. The main goal is to A, make my roommate mad at me, B, make somebody watching this video mad at me, or C, make my cat mad at me. So let's dive right into our first restaurant, which is Arby's. Now here's the thing. Arby's was founded like near my hometown, but I never really had like a special connection to it until after I got to college. I don't know what it is about Arby's, but I love it. For that and it being relatively like inexpensive and not super duper like pricey for a college student, that ranks it pretty high for me. So I'm going to put it in A for now and then we will go from there. Are you mad at me yet?
Yeah.
Up next, we have A&W. Now I have only recently had A&W. Honey, I'm gonna beat your ass. Oh my God. This is my favorite thing. This is one of my favorite things. Annie ants. I don't know what kind of crap she puts into these pretzels, but holy shit, they're so good. This is going to S tier. You cannot argue with me. No one's going to argue with me. I know I'm right. Up next, we have Burger King, and I am putting it in the D tier because it is simply bad. It's a bad burger joint, so it's going in the D tier. So next up, we have Chick-fil-A. And I would like to make something clear. Do I know they're homophobic? Yes. Do I support that? Hell no. However, it is going to stack up better on this list because it is objectively better than what I'm saying right here, okay? I'm putting it in B tier. It gets knocked down because of its homophobic values, so just be aware. Next up, we have Dunkin' Donuts. And since Starbucks isn't on here, I'm going to go off of their food exclusively and not their drinks because I think their drinks are absolutely awful. Oh, she's giving me a glare. Never mind. Never mind. I'm about to get beat up.
You get Starbucks.
That's a freaking lie.
It's
you
not.
know. That's a lie. That is a lie. I'm so sorry. That's going in C tier. Come for me. McDonald's is up next, and I am putting it in C tier because it is perfectly mid, as McDonald's should be. Panda Express is next, and I am putting Panda Express in the S tier. It is very good quality food for fast food Chinese food. I love their orange chicken, and I love their rice, and I love the fortune cookies that you get with every single meal. To make a long story short, Panda Express has a very special place in my heart. Next up is Panera. I'm putting it in B tier because I like their mac and cheese, and I like some of their sandwiches sometimes, but like, why is it so expensive? It's literally cheaper for me to get a frozen, here, I'll show you. It's cheaper for me to get this and microwave it than it is for me to get this at Panera.
And have them microwave it.
And have them microwave it, exactly. So, well, the cat needs to be in every single video now. Everyone loves her.
Oh, is that a section in your contract now?
Yeah, basically. I'm not allowed to make a video without Honey being a part of it. Up next is Raising Cane's. I love Raising Cane's. I don't care that it's expensive because you're getting a full meal when you get Cane's. Sometimes you get leftovers with Cane's. Cane's is in the S tier. Sorry. Up next is Subway. I'm not elaborating. Up next is Taco Bell!
We love it.
Taco Bell!
Even sober.
Even sober. I've had Taco Bell during the day. And for that, for its versatility and its popularity, it's going in the S tier. I never thought I'd say that, but it's going in the S tier. Wendy's is up next. Summer has a very not good relationship with Wendy's. She worked there for like 2 years, I think.
I liked it while I worked there.
But
I left and it went to
in my F tier, we have Subway, Burger King, and Checkers/Rallies. My D tier has KFC, Cinnabon, and Boston Market. C tier has A&W, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Popeyes, and Krispy Kreme. B tier's got Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Panera, Sonic, and Wendy's. A tier has Arby's, Dairy Queen, Five Guys, and Steak and Shake. And my S tier is Annie Ann's, Panda Express, Raising Cane's, and Taco Bell. This is a very diverse S tier, which makes it really hard for me to pick a personal favorite. Based on what I'm seeing here and based on just my own patronage and based on my own loyalties as a fast food customer, just where I go the most often and what I enjoy the most and keep coming back to, my personal favorite, granted not everyone's favorite, is going to be Raising Cane's. I think it just stands on top of all the others and it's really just that much better. That's my ranking. This is my list. Summer, did I make you mad?
Yeah, you succeeded.
Honey, did I make you mad? Yeah, I succeeded in that too. Everyone watching the studio, did I make you mad? Yeah, I did. So now that I've accomplished all of my goals, I'm going to go to bed early and avoid any confrontation with anyone. Have a good night, y'all.
That was a pretty good video. Joe, Seth, what do you guys think? Glad to hear it. After the break, we'll look at some artistic challenges. ASG will be right back.
Wow, color me inspired. I'm gonna try to replicate that energy in this. Have you ever wondered how well you really know Pokemon? Well, Max decided to put that knowledge to the test in this next video and change the world. Let's take a look.
Hey, I'm Max.
I'm Rowan.
And today we're gonna be drawing some Pokemon.
Let's get started.
First one we got is Slowbro.
Alright.
Okay, ready? Go.
Slowbro. Drawing like the wind.
What is a major vibe difference between Slowpoke and Slowbro? It's still no thoughts head empty for the majority of it, but there is a little bit of violence. Okay.
Violence?
Okay. I have to be traded. Wait, I totally know what this looks like.
I'm having trouble remembering like the different evolutions of Slowbro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the vibe even if the overall thing is wrong.
This is Slowbro.
Oh!
I was close! I was
Okay.
close! I was
Alright, let's see. What do they look like?
Okay, I mean, he doesn't look like that, but
Okay.
I knew he was pink and I knew there was a shell somewhere.
That is actually his other form.
Yeah, he's Slowking when he has like the crown.
Okay, because I knew there was a shell chopped on somewhere.
And this one's, I forgot his little tummy.
He's a little bear!
He's a little guy.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, okay. I think I kind of know what he looks
Do
like.
you want?
What type is it?
He is electric. Cat.
Yeah. His design is very different.
He's got a weird design.
Am I allowed to have more of a description of him? Because I have no idea what this one is.
He's bulbous.
He's bulbous? That's your...
Actually, no. I took it back. I got
He's
you.
like a tiger.
I'll take
He's a saber-toothed tiger. That's what he's based on.
Okay. Oh my god, this is going to be such a bad drawing, and I'm probably low on time anyway.
Bulbous He's bulbous, saber-tooth cape.
Why do you keep saying bulbous? I
Because
don't think
his
he's
face.
bulbous, is he?
His face.
This doesn't look good at all. This looks so bad.
Circles? Okay, let's do...
The problem is I can see him so clearly in my mind. I have no idea how to translate that thought onto a canvas. Mine looks like he needs to go on Weight Watchers.
Mine looks like he needs medical attention.
Yours looks like a... Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to give him a cape.
Oh, his cape. Here's what mine looks like.
Oh, that's actually kind of similar.
Oh, what is going on with his tail?
He has an electric tail with floating rings around the
Like
ends.
Sonic? He looks like he's from Calvin and Hobbes.
Hitmonlee.
I got it.
Do you want any in his row?
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
Did you give him a shoe?
Push it.
Yeah. Pokemon don't have clothes. They have fake clothes.
No, he has clothes.
I think this one's good. I think I got this one.
I was gonna do a whole body, but I think this is funnier, so let me just give him some eyes.
Are you done?
Alright, here's Hitmonlee.
He's a
Okay, I did pretty good on this one.
Yeah, you really did.
You know what? I remembered his pose. I didn't remember anything about him. But Max, I did remember his pose.
He looks so scary. Here's mine.
Oh, that's so cute. He's wearing Nikes.
Not sponsored.
I think mine is cute.
It's third generation, and I think barely anyone remembers it. But it's called Gulpin.
Here's what he looks like.
Gulpin. Oh wait, no. I got this. I got this.
Now.
I know what he is. I know
Say
him.
its name again.
Gulpin.
Okay, so he's a blob.
I'm gonna give him some little brushies because I love him. Let's see what he looks like.
Alright, this is Gulpin.
Yeah! What? He's so cute. He looks like an amoeba.
Yeah. You both forgot his arm.
And I forgot his
And
back
he's got
spot.
like a, he's got a diamond on his back.
3, 2, 1, start.
All right. I know how he looks.
I'm drawing the thing that I'm most likely to forget first.
I got him because he always looks so sad.
I said I'm drawing the part that I'm most likely to forget first.
Do you know Mew?
Hush, Hannah.
I realized my mistake! Let it be known, I started drawing Meowth first. I drew his little coin. Oh, this looks so wrong. I can picture Mew so
4,
clearly, and
3,
this is not
2,
it.
1, done. You did it.
Yeah. Okay. Ready? 3, 2.
Keep in mind, I had a minute and a half less than you.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I started drawing Meowth.
Yeah. He's beautiful. He's just a little boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's adorable. Nice guy.
All right.
I knew he had blue eyes too.
You got the blue eyes. That's very good. That was our drawing challenge. Back to ASG.
This one's going in my cringe compilation.
Absolutely. That's all we've got for this week, but don't forget to stop by next Wednesday at 9 for an all-new episode of All Systems Go.
And don't forget to check out our Twitter and Instagram for more ASG content.
Like the photo Jenica just took, which will be in the cringe compilation, aka our Twitter. I'm Nick Thaman.
And I'm Jenica Jenick. All Systems Go, signing off.